What 3 bottles do I keep on hand at all times? Let's answer that. So this seemed like a fun topic because in all honesty, I think we get caught up on saying, here's the flashy new thing, or hey, that thing's coming out, or wow, that's amazing, I love that new bottle, or the BTAC's coming out. All great things. Those are super fun. The chase is amazing sometimes. Sometimes it is really, really, really frustrating. But I wanted to take a look at this and say, you know, there's certain bottles that I just want to make sure I have. And honestly, 2 of the 3, not gonna be difficult to find. The third one, probably not too terribly hard to find, especially if you're just in tune with your local liquor stores or maybe even the big box retailers. But before I jump into this, if at any point during the video you find yourself enjoying the content, please drop a like. Also, please be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. We'd really appreciate it. It's free and it does a ton for us. Okay, so when I think about things that I want to keep in my bar, the first one I'm gonna have is probably that one that I'm just gonna pull out and share if I have people over. Maybe there's some bourbon familiar folks in the house, but they're not bourbon drinkers. Maybe I have somebody that maybe all of a sudden wants to mix it in a cocktail, like an old fashioned or something. I don't want to pull something out that honestly, I don't want to see go into that, although everyone has their choice, right? I understand. But I also want to pull out a bourbon that's worthy of having neat. So the first one I'm going to say is 1792 small batch. Now, if you guys remember recently, we did a series of budget bourbons, and this one actually made the final 3 and fared really well. Now, Wild Turkey 101 admittedly beat it out. You'll see why in a minute, why I didn't put Wild Turkey 101 here. Might be giving away a little bit what the second one is, but that's okay. Of course, 1792 is coming out of Barton, which is owned by Sazerac, made in Bardstown. This one's non-age stated. There's a lot of speculation out there. Definitely gonna be some younger product in it, but probably some older of the Barton barrels mixed in for some of that character that you're getting out of this one. At 93.7 proof, it's very approachable, but it does kick back just a little bit, which is what I enjoy about it. Primary notes of vanilla and caramel, and I get a little banana, nutty, a little spicy, and then the oak comes in as well. So where this one really shines is $25. The mouthfeel on this one is very solid, and it's got a nice medium finish. I just think it's a great choice in this price range to always have at your bar. I'm always gonna have it, so I thought I'd pass that information along to you and see how you feel about it. All right, I might have given this one away earlier in my first one when I said that I didn't include Wild Turkey 101. You guys know I wasn't gonna go without a Wild Turkey product in here. And of course, honestly, this might be the pound for pound champion for me overall of non-allocated bourbon, and it's Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now this one too is non-age stated, but there is also a lot of information out there that says it's between 6 and 12 year blends. And so you also have this coming in at 116.8 proof. The beautiful thing about that is it does not drink at that proof to me. This is so well balanced between sweet, spicy, and oak that you just get a nice approach to this. In fact, I would tell you, if you have people over and they've moved kind of out past that, you know, small batch, bottled in bond, and are ready to spread their wings a little, this is a great bottle to turn them on to. You know, this one is obviously one I'm gonna continue to have and would encourage you guys, just honestly, the flavors off this thing, the maple, the caramel. I get the citrus and a little bit of the rye spice next. And then I do get a hint of leather tobacco, kind of comes together for me. I can't quite pull it apart, but it's there for sure. Finish is where I think this really shines, because I think for something at 116.8, people look at it that don't know and they're like, that's gonna be harsh. No, 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 no. Nice long finish, sweeter more than spice, just wonderful. I'm not telling you guys anything you probably don't know if you've had this many times, but if you haven't had this, this is definitely one to seek out, because I think, in all honesty, as I said at the top of this particular section, pound for pound, this is absolutely one of my favorite bourbons out there. Now, this last one is the one of the 3 that I mentioned, to be honest, might be a little more difficult to find. The other 2 at any well-appointed bourbon shop or liquor store should have the first 2, the 1792 small batch, and they should honestly have the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Now, that one's subject to a little bit of availability, but they should usually be getting that. This one is one that I just recently would have added to this list. I would not have had it on prior to this, and that's the Larceny Barrel Proof. C922 in particular is the reason why I'm adding to the list, but I've heard promising things about A123 and gonna get my hands on one very soon. Okay, so this probably wasn't the weeder that you were looking for, and that is an intentional Star Wars reference, so please don't sue me, Lucas or Disney or anyone like that. But seriously, at 126.6 proof, this thing has just about everything you might want out of things that are reaching up into that barrel strength. Caramel, cinnamon, oak, there's a little syrupy quality to it, which speaks to kind of some sort of, I don't think it's pure maple, but it's sort of syrupy. And the finish to me is where this really kind of shines, because you get all those things all the way through the finish, which is a really long finish. And I finally figure out what that syrupy note is that kind of first hits me, and it turns into this kind of French toast experience. It's not crazy like you're actually having liquid French toast, don't get me wrong, but it's there and it's really beautiful and enjoyable. And to be honest with you, that's an expression that is just something you don't get very often. And so I hope, if nothing else, I've given you some options that are things you could use to either keep behind your bar at all times and have different various levels for your experience, or possibly if you have guests at your home. Or maybe even this could be a list that you use to go out and buy 3 bourbons that you don't quite have and have never actually experienced before, and find your way, you know, as you kind of step through your bourbon journey here. Either way, I'd love to know your feedback on this video and understand if this is something that interests you, and finding out what type of things maybe are bar builders or things you would always keep at your bar, because I think we're always looking for things to kind of add value for you guys. And I think this is something that does, but I want you guys to tell me that. So leave a comment below and tell me what your 3 staples of your bar would be as well. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. So until next time, cheers.